Well, hello, everybody. I'm Jennifer Coles, and I am the Community Sales Advisor here at Rivermead. And welcome to our program. It's nice to see some recognizable faces on this call today. We're creating our own little virtual community here, which is nice to do in sort of the dead of winter when it's difficult to get out and come visit us here at Rivermead. And if you're new to this Zoom program and our virtual series, welcome. We encourage questions, so please, when a question pops in, go ahead and put it into the chat feature, and we will field those questions after our panel has spoken. And also wanted to say we encourage feedback from you. If there's any additional topics you'd like to hear us talk about, any kind of age-related topics about Rivermead, or sort of what's going on in the world and things that you're interested in discussing. In today's presentation, we want to share with you the philosophy of active aging, which is a philosophy that focuses on creating policies and environments that promote healthy aging. We know that science tells us that leading an active lifestyle, whether it be physical, social, spiritual, they all lead to better health outcomes for us. The active aging program is a model to pull all those elements together, improving the overall quality of life for our residents here at Rivermead. This is probably one of the most important benefits of joining a life plan community, where active aging is the focus and it's sort of embedded in everything we do here. And it is part of Rivermead's mission. So I'm excited to share our selected panel with you today. You will hear from Carol Ledger, Rivermead's fitness manager and active aging advocate. Then you will hear from our residents, Peggy and Claire, who both are active agers, and you'll learn a little bit about how they find purpose in every day. And I do hope you can connect with their stories and that they inspire you. So first up is Carol. Oh, sorry, I didn't even move my, hang on. I missed a step here. Here's our panel. So yes, I'm gonna stop sharing and move on and let Carol bring up her presentation. Okay, so
there. Okay.
You got me? Okay, let me do a little quick introduction for Carol here. Carol is a 35-year veteran in the health and fitness industry as a certified wellness coach and fitness trainer. Her integrated health and fitness training prepared her for working with the aging population and individuals living with chronic issues, which had led her to her Rivermead career here in 2017. Carol is a member of the American Council on Exercise, Athletics and Fitness Association of America, and subscribes to the progressive active aging philosophies of industry organizations such as the International Conference on Active Aging, Functional Aging Institute, and growingbolder.com. Carol was on the leadership team that launched the fit up, staffing, and opening of the new state-of-the-art fitness center here at Rivermead, where she currently directs the day-to-day operations. Carol is responsible for building the policy and programming services for person-centered and group fitness programs for Rivermead residents, and she continuously monitors for safety, effectiveness, and efficiency of all Rivermead fitness services. Wow, that's a good job there, Carol. So take it away.
Thank you, Jen, and thank you for Jen and Jeremy for inviting me to be part of the panel. I really appreciate it. I'm really happy to be here and welcome everyone to our Vibrant Living presentation. So rather than treat this as a lecture or presentation, it's going to be kind of a pep talk. So I'm going to start to share my screen here. Everybody see that?
Yes, thank you, Carol.
All right. All right, so let's get this party started. Oops, there's a little thing there. That's all right. This afternoon, I'd like to start a conversation about what active aging looks like. We are going to go over a definition of active aging, how staying active influences our well-being as we age, how Rivermead supports the concept, allow for a snapshot of some of our fitness programs, and explain how physical fitness is integrated as part of a broader wellness culture at Rivermead. But before we get started, I want you all to do a little favor for me. I want you to think for a minute about something that you loved to do, but you stopped doing it, but you wish you could do it again. And I want you to make a mental note of that and just keep that in mind as we progress through my little pep talk here. So let's move ahead. So what is active aging? We define active aging as being engaged in all aspects of life, as Jen said, physical, social, spiritual, vocational, emotional, environmental, and intellectual health. Rivermead has adopted this wellness wheel visual that you see here on the right. It's the idea of this visual is that it looks like a wheel. And if there is a spoke missing from this wheel, it makes it very difficult for us to keep rolling or moving smoothly in our life. Rivermead has several organizations that Jen already mentioned that we associate with. One is the International Council on Active Aging. They are an organization that supports organizations like Rivermead that develop wellness environments and services for the over 50 population. They have an annual wellness conference that our fitness staff attends almost every year, and it helps us to stay up with trends in trends, research, and technology in the industry, and allows us to network with other people in the industry and keeps our programs relevant. The second one that we associate with is Functional Aging Institute, and this is sort of a fitness professional go-to source for providing the most current, up-to-date, and forward-thinking techniques and strategies for fitness training for the mature population. And then the third, and I would argue a very powerful advocate for active aging, is Growing Bolder. It's one of my favorites. Growing Bolder is a group of journalists and broadcasters who provide inspirational stories of men and women who are changing the conversation about life after 50. So I want you to bear with me because I'm going to cue up a little pep talk from Mark Middleton, who is the Growing Bolder creator, and he's much better at articulating what active aging is all about. So bear with me for just 1 minute.
Constant exposure to the message that older people are weak, incompetent, and useless leads us to becoming dependent, non-contributing members of society. We become risk-averse and reluctant to say yes to new adventures. Our world shrinks. We begin to withdraw, wind down, and accept the lies that have been foisted upon us by an ageist culture. And don't say you're not ageist, because you are. Unless you were raised in and live in a vacuum, it's impossible not to be. In fact, older people are often the most ageist of all because they've had a lifetime to internalize ageist beliefs. And when those who are ageist become old themselves, their prejudice turns inward, leading to depression and countless mental and physical illnesses. Now is the time to disconnect from the ageist propaganda machine and begin to really believe, that aging is not a disease that needs to be cured. It's an opportunity that needs to be seized.
So let's take a minute to let that sink in. Could everybody hear that okay? Yes?
Yeah, we can hear it. Yep.
Okay, good. All right. So here at Rivermead, we subscribe to this Growing Bolder concept that Mark presented in his clip a moment ago. And most of us know that by now that by living a sedentary lifestyle, it can accelerate the aging process. and increase the risk of chronic diseases, injury, and then jeopardize our quality of life in our older years. So it is true that we get, as we get older, our functional ability decreases to some degree, but our chronological age really is just a number, and it's not an accurate means of an individual's condition. There is an overwhelming evidence to show that our bodies can grow stronger even in advanced age, and we do have some control over the trajectory of how we live the older part of our life. So the fact is, we do begin to decline in older age. Our energy decreases and our bodies have to work harder to do simple tasks, but it's not the whole story, meaning that two people the same age can have very different trajectories in the aging process. I like to use this graph by Dr. Kalash and Kickbush to explain functional capacity over the life course. They say that maintaining optimal wellness from birth to death is a lifetime process requiring interventions by individuals, communities, and health services throughout the whole span of life. So let me explain this a little bit. Maintaining function and staying above the disability threshold has a huge impact on our ability to do the stuff we want to do and the stuff that we need to do. The disability threshold is represented here on this graph by this gray line in the center of your screen. Above this disability threshold is what we call IADL, which is instrumental activities of daily living. Those are things like traveling, playing golf, gardening, playing with your grandchildren, sports, all the things that we want to do. Below the disability threshold is represented by activities of daily living. These are critical tasks that allow us to remain independent, like climbing stairs, driving, shopping, bathing, dressing yourself, that kind of thing. So here you'll see some two trajectory lines. The beginning of this phase is where, we're born and we learn how to walk and talk, and we have all those social things that we need to learn early in life until we get to about age 30, which is our highest possible level of function for most people. And then you'll see there is a steady decline throughout the older age. The lower line is a typical trajectory which begins to decline after the physiological peak in midlife. The upper black line here that you see represents an individual with a slower rate of deterioration and maintaining a higher functional capacity in the older years. So many of us will live well into our 90s, but the question is, will we do it well up here, or will we not pay attention to the things that we can control and then take a deeper dive into below the disability threshold? So it says a lot about the idea that we can do something to preserve our quality of life as long as possible. So now that we know that we have some control, we can evaluate where we are now and find a way to stay on the higher trajectory for as long as possible. You can start by finding your people, surrounding yourself with people and being in environments that bring you closer to the things that you like to do. Rivermead operates on the philosophy that we serve residents across the functional spectrum, and we encourage, educate, and facilitate wellness opportunities wherever we can. We try very hard to encourage participation of all of our residents, no matter what their limitations are, and we truly try to provide something for everyone. Education is provided in opportunities through our staff training and using sources for evidence-informed research and programs. And we also pull from the abundant wisdom found among our residents and ask them to share. We also facilitate and provide balanced opportunities that support all the dimensions on the wellness wheel. So here comes my shameless plug for our Rivermead fitness team. and our programs. A typical experience for a new resident would start with an invitation from the fitness staff to meet and tour for an orientation of the fitness center and our programs. Ongoing support is available for person-centered pathways through fitness consultations and assessments. And our fitness programs are delivered by certified staff that have training and experience specific to the aging population and common chronic conditions as we age. Our team is a group of caring, growth-minded fitness professionals who love serving our residents. In addition to our group strength training and mobility classes, we have several other opportunities for indoor cycling, yoga, mindfulness. We have 2 fitness gyms on site, indoor pickleball court, and we also provide sport and seasonal outings. For those who enjoy the water or need an alternative to land-based programs, we have a newly renovated pool. And in addition to adult swim clinics, we have group fitness classes and water therapy, and as well as water volleyball. It's very common to see our residents sitting in the space, our new pool space, enjoying some quiet time. It's a very serene area to stay. So that's not an uncommon thing. We also have a very popular fall prevention program that starts with a balance assessment to establish a baseline. And then we talk through placement in a class or another pathway that's appropriate. We use technology, and we use this system called Biodex Balance System. And I'm going to give you just a little quick clip of what that looks like. So bear with me here.
Balance system training environments include postural stability training. You can emphasize specific movement patterns or strategies by placing markers anywhere on the screen. Limits of stability training challenges the patient's balance within their sway envelope, progressively increasing over time. Weight shift training challenges patients to shift and control their center of gravity within 2 on-screen parallel lines, in the medial lateral, anterior posterior, and transverse planes of movement. Maze control training encourages defined movement patterns to improve proprioception and motor control. Random control training uses an undefined movement pattern, challenging patients to keep pace with a moving target. Target size and movement speed can be varied to match skill level, ideal for motor control and vestibular training. Percent weight-bearing training sets target zones that change color when the patient is within 1% of the weight-bearing targets.
So in addition to the training modules that you saw in the clips, we have games embedded into the system, which some of our residents find very fun because they're very competitive. Things like ball catch, word search, mazes, and kayaking. So that's a very popular option here at Rivermead. So beyond physical fitness, the wellness wheel that we showed you, or that we adopted from ICAA in the beginning of the presentation, we fold in all the dimensions beyond physical fitness. So it's not unusual to tap into the talent of residents for projects and presentations, professional topics like current events and that kind of thing. We also have we utilize our very talented woodworkers on campus. They made this very nice scoreboard for our new pool, and then they do some projects, storage projects for us that are very well crafted. So that's very fun. We create a rapport and develop trust with residents to help them through difficult times, and we refer to healthcare, mental health, and in-house rehab teams if we need to. One of our most endearing events of the year is our Active Aging Week that occurs at the end of September every year. Our community celebrates the visual of our residents, families, and staff engaging in life together. And we coordinated lots of things that you see here on the screen. But a couple of highlights that I wanted to show you is that we invited Northeast Passage, which is an organization that works with the UNH here in New Hampshire. And they are a group of rehab therapists that brought some adaptive cycles here on site. and we were able to get our most able-bodied and our most limited residents on these cycles for a ride around the campus, which was amazing. And then we had a community walk, and I want to show you this clip of this one resident who is in our assisted living facility. And she insisted to make it all the way around, even though she was finishing an hour after everyone. And this is the moment that she came in. So that was probably one of our most heartfelt events. I have one more thing to show you really quick, and it is I'm going to leave you with one more video clip, and I'll finish with this.
Who wants to live to be 100? Who doesn't want to live to be 100 if you're able to enjoy it? If you have a health span that matches your lifespan, if you have a quality of life like Roy Engler.
It's no different than being 59 or 69 or whatever. It's fun. It's fun. I always have fun. And just keep growing bolder.
We all have more power over how we age than we realize. Our daily lifestyle choices may not only impact how long we live, but more importantly, how well we live. It's a lifestyle that helped Willie Sproul recover from serious injuries suffered as an Army paratrooper.
I cracked my spine, my pelvis, jumping out of aircraft. I was on all these narcotics, walk with the cane, and couldn't think clearly. Sometimes it brings me to tears when I think about it, of what I've been through and what I've had to overcome.
Willie turned his life around when he began walking, then running, stopped taking pain pills, and started working out. He found friends and encouragement in the track and field community.
But being out here on the track and around the seniors, people 50 and over, with all this positive energy, I can't go wrong. I cannot go wrong.
We all want a quality of life that brings us joy and allows us to live with passion and purpose, no matter how old we are or what our individual challenges might be. Active aging simply means engaging in life in our own way to the extent that we're able. It's about leaning into life and learning to adapt to our changing environments, no matter our age, abilities, opportunities, or challenges. Yet Sauer was a heavy smoker and drinker who quit both when she was 39.
Which I thought was going to make me healthier, but it ended up leading me straight to food. So I blew up to about 250 pounds. I was sedentary. I was miserable. And the funny thing is, I thought, well, maybe this is just how it is at 40 and you just feel old and you are old. And which is crazy because my life has flipped so much that at 81, I don't even feel old.
Deanne turned her life around when she learned to swim and found a community that supported and inspired her to keep going. Vivian Stansel used swimming and the encouragement of others to overcome obesity, heart disease, and the loss of her eyesight.
You will not ever hear me say, poor Vivian. You will not ever hear me say, because I'm blind, I can't do it. I can do anything that I put my heart to doing.
Jack Eckenrode is a 95-year-old Humana game changer who inspires everyone around him. His secret to active aging, family, faith, and his bicycle.
Because biking is the simple sport. And even if you're 75 or 85, you still can bike. There's trails being built all over the United States, and so take advantage of it.
Jack, Vivian, Diet, Willie, and Roy all remind us that the lifestyle choices we make every day don't just add years to our life, but more importantly, life to our years. More time with those we love, doing the things we enjoy, and making a difference in the lives of others. So stay tuned as we celebrate active aging and share the International Council on Active Aging's 7 Dimensions of Wellness with daily videos, articles, podcasts, and a downloadable workbook filled with great resources.
All right, so you remember in the beginning of the presentation, I asked you, is there something that you loved to do, something that you no longer do, but something that you would love to do again? Maybe you could think about that a little bit differently. And thank you for listening to my pep talk. And thank you for Jen for inviting me, and also for everyone else that's here for listening. So Jen, back to you now, and I will stop sharing my screen.
Thank you, Carol. I don't know about everyone else, but I'm pretty inspired. That was great. And I'll just give another little plug to Carol and her fitness team here at Rivermead, how lucky we are to have them here for all of our residents. And also, if you are on our waiting list, you also have an opportunity to work with the fitness team here. You can have a limited membership to the fitness center. And it's a good way to kind of get to know Carol and her team and get inspired by other Rivermead residents. And before you know it, you'll be ready to move in and you'll be wanting to move in. So next up, speaking of moving in, we have a resident speaker today. We are lucky and blessed to have Peggy Cappy with us. You may know her. She is a well-known yoga instructor here locally, but there's a lot more to Peggy than the yoga instruction, and I will let her share her story with you. So Peggy, why don't you take it away?
Hi, you all. Yeah, it's so exciting to hear about one aspect of Rivermead that Carol oversees, because it's a fabulous fitness program. In fact, one of the things when I was talking with Jen is like how I stay active. I love being exposed to programs that I never knew about. There's a strong seniors program. There's a move free program. I attend those because never before have I used weights. I don't know about you, but I never used weights. And I find that using the weights is just an added benefit to already having a fit body. So I came here about 3 years ago, and my husband and I decided to come to Rivermead because we could see in the future that we were going to have some special needs. And I saw with both my parents and my husband's parents that they waited too late. And they waited until the move became difficult. And even when we had 2 houses, when we were cleaning them out, we said, could you imagine doing this in 5 years? And we just went, no, I'm so glad we did it. I got rid of so much that I thought was going to be meaningful to me and I didn't know about letting it go. And I haven't missed, I haven't missed anything. So anyway, we came here because my husband's mother has dementia. And he was beginning to see signs of some memory challenges. And so we thought, he doesn't need any help today, but let's get established in this community. Let's make friends. Let's know the whole lay of the land. Let's know what's here so that when the time comes that we do need help, we really feel comfortable. So we've really enjoyed, one of the special times is dinner time. There's 2 different campuses, 2 different places to eat, but we eat at the Village, which is our main campus. And every night we have dinner with another couple. It's just very easy, very fun. It's a way to get to know people that, frankly, we wouldn't have gotten to know in our own circle. We're exposed to a lot more ideas, and that's been really great, really fascinating. So it turns out that my husband's dementia progressed really quickly in the last 6 months. And we got to the place where I felt like I was doing 24-hour duty. And I don't know if anyone's a caregiver or has been a caregiver, but it takes a toll on you over time. And I felt like I was starting to be not the person I wanted to be. I was a little bit more snappy, and I realized that I needed help. And that's when I turned to our wonderful resident coordinators. And we worked out a program that's very different than most, is that I needed help at night. If I can get my good night's sleep, then I'm fine in the day. And so we arranged a deal with memory support that he have a room there. And we have the day together, have dinner, and then I'd bring him over, and he gets help getting ready for bed, anything that come up in the night, in the morning, getting cleaned up, and all the things that I don't particularly want to do. but he's finding an amazing community there, and we're very, very happy for the challenge. And I just feel like it's a wonderful, even better than we thought was going to happen. Some of the surprises for me when I've come here is that I'm really self-motivated. I like to hike. I like to walk. There's a resident that takes us on a hike every Saturday morning, and he researches it beforehand. And it's a good group of people that come along, and it's just great to be out. We have such a beautiful environment here with the trails and lot right around our campus. And so, I was doing that. In fact, I was concerned that I wasn't walking as much as usual. So I did the thing that I don't necessarily recommend is I got a puppy. And I don't know if you know, but puppies have to go outside often on the leash. And that means I'm holding the leash. And when it was just getting a little too much, I have to say that help came in the form of Claire, the next speaker's husband. And he loves to take my dog for a walk. In fact, I emailed him today and said, hey, I'm going to be on this call. I don't want anyone to hear a barking dog. Would you take Wallace for this time? Little did I know that Claire is on the call too. So maybe she said, outside you go. I don't know, but I was like, oh my gosh. So anyway, you can see my enthusiasm. One of the other things I love about this place is we have phenomenal food, and I'm a real foodie. I really care about my diet. And what's offered here is something that meets just about everyone's needs. I happen to be gluten free. I'm not celiac, but my body just works better without gluten. And they've bent over backwards to find flours to use where I can eat. It's really, really amazing. What keeps me motivated is not only the residents here are really interesting, but every person in the staff is phenomenal. Everybody's job, whether they are a licensed nursing assistant that I interact with a lot, or administrative person, head of their department, everybody's job is taken to heart. And I really feel they care about each of us so much and what they can do to improve our quality of life. What else? Jen, can you think of anything that I have stayed active in my profession? I make yoga programs for public television, Yoga for the Rest of Us. And I made one last year. It was the beginning of last year. And I was asked to do another one. So I'm in the process of that. And it's just been wonderful that I can be here and still have an active professional life. I wrote a book last year. I'm working on another one. So there's time in the schedule. And yet I feel like I have a very full, much more active social life. And, they say that one of the things in aging is we tend to shrink our circle, our social circle. And it's so important to be interacting with people every day. And what this facility does is just allow us to expand our many ways of contact. I'll tell you one of the things that really surprised me. I went to a ping pong hour. Who would have guessed that could be such a highlight for me? But I look forward to every week playing ping pong. It's mostly guys. So I wasn't good in the beginning, but they were very supportive and had me keep coming back. And now I think I can hold my own with them. So it's something I look forward to. It's a silly thing, but when I'm playing ping pong, I am not thinking of anything else but that little ball and getting it over the net. So if you come here, I'd be curious to see what is it that's really going to make your heart sing? What is it that's going to really give you an opportunity to do that you didn't even know existed? I know I have a friend who decided to take up an oil painting in the form of the old masters. And when I looked at what she did, I couldn't believe that she had created this beautiful picture. That's not in my wheelhouse. I'm not an artist, but as I look around, I'm just so amazed. And when you'll hear, I hope that Claire talks a little bit about her latest show in the art hallway. She has a fabulous show of her arts. I don't know if they're still up, but if they are, and you're close to Rivermead, come by and take a look because it's truly impressive what she's done over the course of her quilting career. So that might be a good segue into Claire. I'm really eager to hear what she has to share, but you can hear my enthusiasm. I'm happy to talk to anybody specifically, that if you have any questions that you're afraid to ask or you don't want to bring up, check in with Jen, and I'm happy to meet with you. I'll have lunch with you, whatever, because I just want to share this wonderful place.
Thank you, Peggy. That's wonderful. And I'll just reiterate what you're saying about, you know, sort of new things that happen here at Rivermead. Residents bring ideas. So when people ask me, well, you know, what do you guys do every day? It changes. It changes weekly. It changes monthly. It changes as new people come into our community. They bring their ideas to the table. So our community grows each and every time somebody new moves in. So, you know, we're always welcoming new people, and yes, having lunch with a resident is a great idea. That's a great opportunity to ask those maybe difficult, sensitive questions you don't want to ask me, or you want to hear it from somebody else. And you want to hear the good along with the bad, right? Transition is difficult. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes for you to get here to Rivermead. And so, you know, you want support, and this is a community that provides that kind of support for you. So
I have to say one more thing. Do it now. Don't wait too long. The sooner you do it, the easier it gets. I promise you.
yes. I just saw something pop into the chat. Are swimming lessons provided? Carol, do we do swimming lessons?
Yes,
I can answer that
we
question.
do have, we just started an occasional session. So it's a repetitive session of swimming lessons with our swim instructor. So yes.
Cool. Great. Thank you. Okay, so next we have Claire Gingras. So Claire, if you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit about yourself.
Well, Peggy's a very hard act to follow. And I'd like to mention about the swimming lessons. I had a swimming lesson today, and it was wonderful. So it's not often, but they're spaced out. So we come from Central Massachusetts. We moved in about 7 months ago. And so far, so good. We have a very nice 2-bedroom apartment and on a sunny side. So that's very nice for all of my houseplants.
And is there anything particularly you enjoy about the community so far?
Well, one of the most important things is that I have very severe food allergies. I have celiac and balsam Peru allergy and dairy, and you go down the list. There's fewer things I can eat than I can't eat. So the kitchen was just wonderful with me. I met with them just about every day at first to make sure they understood everything. They went out of their way to take care of me, and I have not been sick one time, and I've been here for 7 months. So that is a huge, huge compliment to that kitchen crew. It's hard enough to feed in this building 200 people to have one oddball who's got some serious issues. So I really appreciate that very much. And then the other really important thing is that the residents themselves are such a wonderful group of people that when someone new comes in, they're not overwhelming, but they certainly are very caring and welcoming. And they'll just casually invite you to have dinner with them, or if they see you wandering around the hall, not knowing where you are, they'll be quick to just say, oh, can I help you out? Or if you're stuck about something, they're very open. They'll be very helpful to give you tips and things like that. So.
Claire, what's one of the ways you stay active? Or many ways, I should say.
There are many ways to stay active here, and it's just innumerable, the number of things that you can do. So the area where the exercise classes are, there's one room that has all the machines in it, and they're all age appropriate machines for doing cycling and that kind of thing. Then the other room, the exercise room that Peggy mentioned a little bit, is completely empty so that you can do yoga in there, you can play pickleball in there. There's a lot of things that you can do in there. I also, oh, this is my funny one. I never learned how to swim, but I did the exercise class in the pool because you can't fall down in the pool. And it's important to know that the pool is 40 feet long and only 4 feet deep. So when I say pool, it's, we're not talking anything over my head. And I really enjoy that class so much. And I did learn to just today from the swim instructor because I'm losing my balance and I'm not understanding. And she said to me that she did some research on it. And as we age, these little hairs in our ear disintegrate and go away. And that's part of the balance process. And that made me feel a little better because I'm thinking, all right, Claire, get a grip. You gave up riding your bicycle. Now you're just going to have to be more careful about what you do with yourself. The other thing about the activity center I really like is people with walkers can go to those activities. And once you get in there, everyone will help out, and there's chairs already in place, so the person in the walker can get in their yoga chair, and someone will push your walker up against the wall, and then they're able to really do all of this stuff. Just because they don't have balance doesn't mean they shouldn't keep their muscles strong. And what's wonderful is how people care for each other, how all of the instructors, all the Rivermead staff are so patient. They just, it's wonderful. And there's one special instructor will actually go up to the people who had the walkers and say, all right, you're in the walker. This is how you're going to do this exercise. And the rest of you do it this way. But there's no condensation. There's no like, well, poor you, it's like, come on, you can do this. We got you. And that makes everyone else feel happy. Anything else you want to know?
Yeah, Claire, what was the most unexpected or surprising thing that happened to you when you moved to Rivermead, or the thing you weren't expecting when you moved here?
I never have to cook again.
That's good.
Oh my God, it was like, I don't have to go shopping. I don't have to cook. You do a little shopping as you have to eat breakfast and lunch, and the meals are very, very good. And of course, with my food allergy, that whole thing fell right into place very nicely. But that was like the biggest surprise. And then the other thing, honestly, is the staff. The staff as a whole are very responsive, very, and what I like too is that the offices of the main staff are right by the front of the building. They're not hidden off on the second floor in the back. They're right here in the front. And the unspoken rule is if the door is open, you're welcome to come in. If the door is closed, something's going on. The door is open 90% of the time. If I have a question, I can walk down the hall and Jennifer, I can walk right into your office and say, I have this little problem. What should I do? And she'll point me down the hall to this person or that person. And there's just something about, you can be wandering down the hall feeling lost. And if a staff member approaches you, you can ask them any question you want. You can tell them you're having a hard time. They'll point you in the right direction, or they'll help you out. It's just that feeling that this is home. We live here, you guys live here, we're all part of this community, and you really care about us, almost as if you were our sister or brother or something like that. We can come to you with any problem that we have, and we don't have to worry about it. And then I would say the other thing that is really important to me is that I feel safe. And that almost brings tears to my eyes, because as you get older, you feel unsafe. And here I really feel safe, that everyone's watching out for us, but yet never belittle us, never make us feel stupid, never, like I told you that yesterday and the day before, never, ever, ever. It's always, you're taking care of us.
Good. Well, great. Thank you, Claire, for your heartfelt thoughts. It's lovely. And I'm so impressed with your swimming lessons. See, it's never too late to learn something new. That's very inspiring. So I would just say to everybody out there, think about what Carol was saying earlier, challenging you. Is there something that you used to do you're not doing? Or is there something new you would like to try? It is not too late. That's the beauty of this, living in our modern age with play. Oops, sorry, people. I want to share
Wait,
my
I want
screen.
to, I want to say one more thing. Can I say one more thing?
Yes,
Okay, I want to reiterate what Peggy said. Start downsizing now. Even if you're not planning to move now, start downsizing to just get rid of all that stuff you thought you were going to want to save all your life. And the second thing is, come here before you have to be here. I can't emphasize that enough.
Yep.
Takes time. It takes time to find your way around. It takes time to feel like this is your real home. It takes time to make friends. And then when you start falling apart, you got people there who like you.
very good. Thank you. Speaking of which, I'm going to share my screen here and just talk a little bit about what we got going on now, because now is the time to plan your move to come to Rivermead. We have apartments, cottages, and villas coming available. So I know a lot of you are on our waiting list and you're waiting for something specific. And some of you are waiting and you're not really sure what you're waiting for. So I challenge you to investigate that a little bit more, because you can move in here as early as this spring and start living the lifestyle you deserve. And it's, about having community around you and having an active lifestyle. And those are all things I think you heard we support very well. Ask us about our 1-bedroom winter incentive. This is a really good deal out there for people who are ready to make the move. We can save you significant amount of money if you were wanting to come to one of our 1-bedrooms right now. Up next, securing your future, the financial and healthcare benefits of a life plan community. This will be on January 30th at 2 p.m. You'll hear from some of the healthcare professionals here at Rivermead and hear a little bit more about how the life plan is a good financial benefit to you. So with that, does anyone have any questions? Any other ideas, thoughts, something to talk about? Questions for Peggy or Claire? And you know what? You can always reach out to us directly. I think you all probably have my email or Jeremy's email. Please feel free to reach out to us if you need any additional information about Rivermead. And check out our website. You'll see more events and things to come down the road that are pretty exciting and fun. And I thank you all, to Claire, Peggy, Carol, thank you.